Hi, my name is David Muir, and welcome to Prepare to Be Hired's Transitioning from Student to Professional. You know, I've talked with literally hundreds of people who have gone through this big build-up and finally gotten to the cap and gown graduation, and then they find kind of a poof at the end because they face the question of, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of people face that question at many times during their career, but never is it more poignant than right after you graduate at the younger portion of your life. And it's not always something that they teach you in school, how to go out and get a good job. That's one of the reasons we created this website. Well, in today's class, we're going to talk about some attitude adjustments that you can execute on yourself to make you more hireable. We're also going to talk about some specific actions that you can take before you graduate all the way through post-graduation that are going to help increase your chances of getting a job. Thanks for joining us. I hope you find it helpful. As a student, you've got an awful lot of freedom. You get to pick who you're going to hang out with, which classes you take, what projects you work on, and how much energy you're going to devote to each. Once you enter the professional world, first of all, in today's market, finding an opportunity to go to work is a lot like finding a spot in that parking lot over there. There's not a ton of choices, and when you do get in, it's not up to you who you work with or what projects you're going to work on. The only control you really have is how hard are you going to work, how much are you going to apply yourself on your daily tasks. One of the things that's difficult for students to grasp as they make this transition is the lack of, I guess, free will. However, your time being sacrificed now gets traded for the paycheck you're going to receive, so that's a good thing as well. Show up, work hard, that's your job. Do what your boss tells you. Earn the right to have more freedom by showing you're capable of contributing value to the company itself. People watching, one of my favorite pastimes. I spent a lot of time people watching growing up, and it's also one of the most important skills you have as someone who's transitioning into the professional workforce. Here's why. When you get in, you don't really know the lay of the land. You don't know how the internal workings of the company operate, who are the big players, who are the chatterboxes within the company, and who's going to be a great mentorship or role model for you. So one of the things I highly recommend you do is shut up, sit down, watch what happens. Watch how people interact. Watch the business processes of the day. Take notes. Figure out who are the important players in the office dynamic and try and align yourself with them. These people are going to be able to help teach you the skills that you need working at that company to be able to move up the ladder. So as somebody new to the workforce, sit down, shut up, pay attention. Networking, another important thing to keep in mind. As a student, networking to you may be hanging out with your friends or talking with them at functions in the evening time. Business or professional networking is a little bit different. It's time invested by business professionals in gathering. You get together, shake hands, learn a little bit about what it is they do, they learn a little bit about what it is you do, and everybody tries to help each other by providing connections to other people to help them grow professionally. Whether it's through sales or a new job opportunity, maybe you're looking for a mentor, or it's a huge variety of things. There's lots of different types of networking groups out there. I'm not going to get into all the particulars about networking. We've got a networking class coming soon. Make sure you keep your eyes open for it. But the important thing to keep in mind here is that you need to invest time once you get into the professional world in meeting the people in the business community, because only through talking with them are you going to be able to uncover lots of different things that are going to help you grow professionally. Make sure you've got your resume put together. Invest some time in building a good document that highlights your education, jobs or internships that you've had while you were in school. Show your potential employer you're prepared to be hired. Jobs and internships. Now, stay with me here. If you already know where your career's taking you, you want to be a politician or a chemist, well then, while you're in school, go get a job or internship that supports that field. Start working at it right away. And if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, and that's okay, that happens. As a matter of fact, I was one of those people. Go to work anyway. Go get a job. Do a good job. Get promoted. Because if I'm evaluating two candidates and all things are equal, but one candidate has actually been in the workforce for a couple of years, I'm going to lean more heavily towards that candidate. Why? Well, they've had to deal with bosses, they've had to deal with coworkers and traffic and being on time and meeting their responsibilities, and the other candidate just went to class. I think the person with the real world work experience is going to have just a better chance at landing on 2 feet and hitting the ground running. A couple of catchphrases when it comes to hiring. So get a job while you're in school, work, do a good job, and make sure that you account for it on your resume. Take credit for the work you've done. Show people you're ready to come to work. Goals, another huge component to being successful in the professional space. Until recently, your goal has been to get that cap and gown, to get the diploma. Well, you've achieved that. Congratulations. Now you need to work on professional goals. And if you don't have some written down, we're developing a class. Make sure you keep your eyes open for it. The fact of the matter is, studies have shown people with written goals tend to be more successful than those without. At the end of their careers, they have higher income levels and higher status levels within their employer. Have written goals, very important. So we've covered a couple of things here today when we talk about transitioning from student to professional. First, we talked about your perspective, how you're now trading your own freedom of choice and free time for a paycheck. So you're not always going to get to pick and choose who you work with or what you work on. We talked about paying attention, watching what's happening around you, getting a lay of the land. We talked about having your resume ready and networking groups. All these different efforts that you need to put forth to really enter into the professional market. The most important thing for you really to keep in mind, however, is be yourself. Prepare from the very beginning to enter the workforce by being committed to doing a good job in whatever it is that you do, and follow your passion. If you like doing something in your everyday life, well, try and figure out a way to make money doing it, because it's not really work if you love what you do. I mean, take it from me. I'm talking for a living now. Thanks very much for spending some time with us today. As a student transitioning, I wish you all the best, and check out some of the other classes we have. I hope the information's been helpful. I hope we've helped you prepare to be hired. Remember, your job's waiting.